Hi everyone! Welcome back to Window Chats with Robyn, the Instagram Live podcast where I sit by my window and chat with very interesting people. Today we have Eric, and I'm very excited because this was so last second to a point where I was in a clubhouse room with him Wednesday night and I'm like, hey, would you like to be part of this? And he jumped on it. So excited to actually see him face to face. I think he's quite funny, even just based on hearing him alone, and his Instagram is quite entertaining. So we'll see how it works out. Maybe this will be an epic fail, or maybe it'll be amazing. Or maybe just kind of like in between and you go, wasn't bad, wasn't her best one. So I'm gonna like set the bar. The bar is out there. There is no bar to be set. I guess the only thing is, I hope he doesn't stand me up. That happened one time, guys, and I'm still traumatized from it, where I had to do 20 minutes of talking to myself. And don't get me wrong, everyone that was in that room with me watching this was super helpful. But like, let's hope Eric shows up, right? I have faith in him. He seemed very professional. I'm gonna try to invite him in. I like to, what's it called? Just like to say what I'm doing. I feel like I'm doing one of those videos. And now we click on this button here. Request has been sent. And will it work today is also a concern. For those of you who have never seen an Instagram Live before, they tend to be finicky. So will the internet work? I don't know. Will Eric be able to join? I don't know. Okay, let's try again. Gonna invite him in. Hi, Eric. I see you. I'm nervous. Okay, be cool. Be cool. We got this. Come on, Instagram. I feel like I'm praying all the time. Please work, technology. I'd like this to be successful. Maybe it will today. Maybe it won't. Either way, thank you all for joining me in my attempt to do yet another Window Chats. Always appreciate the support. And yeah, see what happens. Oh yes, for those of you who have never seen this, you can catch it afterwards on IGTV. It's also available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and other options. I think I put it on my Facebook page. Yeah, I keep changing it up. But I'm sure there's a bunch of links and availability in my bio because I'm cool like that. Oh no, Eric, it says you can't join. Why Instagram? Why would you do that? Let's try again. Oh, see, Eric, remember when I sent you all those instructions and you go, oh wait, it worked. I was going to throw shade at you and be like, remember when you said you knew how to do this?
I've been ready. I don't know what's going on your end.
I've been sending it. Oh, that's so funny. My headphones aren't connected. So I have them in.
Great so far. You're doing great.
Yeah, it's going really great. Very, very successful. Feeling confident. Okay. Thanks for doing this.
Hello, good morning. I see my friend Naomi's here. We have friends in the room. Look at us.
I love it.
You like this shirt? It's made of suede or
stylish.
Something. It's soft to touch.
Yeah, it feels really soft.
Okay, hold on. How's my angle?
Yes, please. Get your lighting, get your angles. I want you to feel confident with how you look in this half screen.
I just got out of the shower, so my face is a little fired up. Okay, I think this is good. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Beautiful.
I'm curious why you agreed to do this. I was so loud. I'm just like, hey, you want to do it? And you said yes. And I don't know if I'd have the guts that you did.
Yeah, no, look, my whole life is based on that notion. Yes, sure. Let's try it.
Like, what if this was an epic fail? You go, who is this Robyn chick? What will happen?
Hey, I'm fine. I've done plenty of these. I'm excited for you.
Oh, awesome.
Excited for us, I mean. That sounded really jerky.
It sounded
I'm
super
excited
arrogant,
for you to have me. I mean, I'm excited for this experience.
You're welcome for being on your podcast, Robyn. But
no,
Eric,
here we are. We're good.
I think you are you're good. You're good. Setup-wise, I'm feeling it. I'm going to hold a coffee cup too. So it'll be like coffee people together. Look at us. We're cool.
Yeah, this is necessary. This is not a prop. It's 11 a.m. and I'm a comedian. So this is like 7 a.m. if I was a regular person.
I know, that's the thing. You guys do such late rooms on Clubhouse and I'm like, I don't know, it's past my bedtime and everyone else is wired. And I go, God, the stamina these people have. I feel like I'm an 80-year-old in this Clubhouse facility. Like I don't belong there.
It's all right. You get used to it. 10 years of going to bed at 4 a.m. You get used to it.
Is that purely for comedy, I'm assuming?
Yeah, well, for me, it's like in a regular world, in a non-COVID world, you know, I go on stage usually around 10. I do an hour, so that's 11. Then I like do merchandise and whatever in the lobby till like 12. Then I have a drink with the promoter or people from the show. That's like 1. Then I'm usually like an hour away from home. That's like 2. I come home, I want to eat something because I'm starving, so I eat something. Now we're at like 3. Now I don't want to go to bed on a full stomach, so I stay up till like 4. And then I go to bed at 4, and I wake up at like, I don't know, between 11 and 12. Lately, I've been getting up at like 9:30. I'm a new man. This COVID has changed me. But yeah, it's been 10 years of late nights. So when people are like, comedians are lazy, no, it's like, no, comedians are just on a different sleep schedule than you. I'm still only getting like 7 hours. It's just on a different time.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, I'm up. I'm here. We got coffee. Let's do it.
That. I like how everything had an hour interval as well. You don't do the half hour. It's like all the hour.
No hour. I need time to look at myself in the mirror, fix my hair. It's a whole thing.
What merchandise do you sell?
I sell stickers. Stickers on the road based on, I have certain designs that either I've designed or I've worked with graphic designers to, that go along with kind of jokes that I do in my hour. And then stickers are good because I used to do t-shirts and stuff, but then I got to like carry them around everywhere and I don't want to do that anymore. So stickers are like, I have them like in a bundle. It's like the size of, I don't know, like a textbook. I throw them out there. It's pay what you can. And I sell them after the shows. And sometimes I make as much money selling stickers as I do, as I get paid for the show. So people love stickers. People like a sticker, and they like to put it somewhere and then take a picture of that sticker where they put it, tag me, I share it, free promotion. So
that's very smart.
Yeah.
Well, here's a question though. You said it was stickers based on your jokes. What if those jokes bombed? And then here you are with stickers or maybe is that better if the jokes bomb? Because then they can mock you while buying the sticker.
How dare you say that to me? How dare you say that my joke was going to bomb? No, you know what? Sometimes I forget to do the joke that the sticker's based on.
Oh no!
And because I pretty much do kind of the same hour, and hopefully after COVID I can write some new stuff. But I pretty much do the same hour in pretty much the same order. People don't realize that comedians are like bands. They play the same. They're touring an album. I'm touring an hour. Those two kind of are the same. But sometimes I'll like go out of order or something happens in the audience where I go in and do a little bit of crowd work and I forget to come back to a punchline or something based on a sticker. And I'll be like setting up the stickers and I'm like, I'm like, I don't think I did that. And people are like, what's this sticker? I'm like, it's not based on a joke I didn't do. They're like, it's cool. I'll buy it anyways. I'm like, all right, cool. Buy it.
That's a supportive bunch.
Mm-hmm. I love the support. People do support. I'm very happy about that.
Well, you know what the thing is, and what really I'm impressed by you. You're very authentic. Like you are, just how you sounded on Clubhouse, just like this big personality, this like really supportive guy. And even your material that's online, like this, you have a very warm glow about you. And I'm not just basing this on your skin color right now. It is. There's something that I'm like, okay, you're not just one of those fake people on social media. And I find that very impressive because I've been a little annoyed lately with a little fakeness. So. Yeah. Yeah,
well, I've always just believed, first of all, like, I don't know, I'm incapable of being full of shit. I mean, maybe in my early 20s more so. Now, I'm just me. I put a quote online recently, like, to create a style, one must be unapologetic about their choices. And I'm not apologetic about who I am. I'm this, like, Irish, Polish, pretend Italian, Guido, bro guy from Stony Creek. I'm like a product of my environment, but I've also been through a lot in life, and I've experienced loss and love loss and travel and pain but triumph and stuff. I've been a lot of places. I've done a lot of things, and I like to be supportive to people. I like when people, like, nothing makes me happier than when someone's like, hey Eric, I know you went to this place, can you tell me about it? And I'm like, buddy, go here, do this, don't go here, stay away from this. If you're working with this person, make sure you get paid up front. Like, I like to be a person of experience for people. And I believe that we're all in this together. And someone did comment on that. And, sometimes in the entertainment world, especially in the comedians world, it's a very singular thing, right? It's me. It's just me up there with a microphone. This is me. This is my career. But comedians kind of get, it's an ego-based business. A comedian, especially a comedian, you know, are they laughing at me? Am I doing well? Am I killing? Am I selling out? Am I doing this? You know, I realized the proverb or whatever it is of like crabs in a bucket, where crabs, if you look it up on Urban Dictionary or whatever, when you throw a bunch of crabs into a bucket, if they worked together and created a link, they could all get out of the bucket and be saved. The issue with crabs in a bucket is when you put a bunch of crabs in a bucket, the second that one tries to make a break for the exit, the other crabs grab them and pull them down. Ooh. And it's a scientific thing, but it's a lesson about life. If we actually just work together, especially as Canadian entertainers, because we're this country above the entertainment capital of the world other than Bollywood, you know, with New York and LA and all the stuff that happens in the States, if we work together, especially as Canadians, we can go a lot further. That's why I always try to bring, like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm the touring headliner, but I request that I book my opening acts. I request that I bring people with me, because some clubs are like, well, we have a middle, we have a feature. I'm like, actually, I work with these two guys or this guy and this girl. Or if I'm going into a new town, what I like to do is, like, say I'm going to Saskatoon or something and I've never been to Saskatoon. What I suggest to the comedy club is they run some sort of contest or something in the weeks leading up for me to get there, like a prove you're the best comic comedy contest, and that person has the opportunity to open for me. So it gives everyone an opportunity. It gives all the local comics to write new material or perform their absolute best. Then when I come into town, I'm the headliner, and they have an opportunity to be on a pro show. And then I will sit and shoot the shit with them and talk, and, you know, how long you've been doing it, what's this, that one joke you did about that's really good, but I think it'd be funnier if you did it like this. You know, like, you have these kind of like little moments with comedians. And I love that. And there were some great comics who did that for me when I was coming up. And I'm still very much coming up. I'm talking like a seasoned veteran here. I'm close to 11 years into comedy. I'm still kind of on the rise, and things are happening and things are coming for me. But I love talking to a comic who's like 3 years in, 4 years in, like just kind of hitting their stride, finding their voice. And like, I'll corner comics sometimes. I'll ask, like, hey, can I give you a little bit of unsolicited advice? Like one time I was in Montreal and there was this comic who I really admire, good kid, funny kid, but nothing he was saying. That's Ryan Tim. I got some of my best lines talking to Eric, and I'm new, but I learned so much from him. Well, thanks, Ryan. That's one of the guys that I was like, hey, come on the show. Come. I gave Ryan an opportunity to perform in front of like 150 people at a Legion in East Hamilton. And it was the night that his baby was born.
Wow. Yeah,
he was doing the show, and he's like, I got to go. I'm like, why? Stick around, have a drink. He's like, my wife's in labor. I'm like, okay, go ahead, have fun. But anyways, I like to have those opportunities, and I like to help comics. A lot of comics don't like that, and they think it's very singularly focused. And those comics don't last very long, and I realized that, and I just didn't want to be one of those people. Yeah. So, yeah, I think that's where it comes from with the open honesty thing. And then with Clubhouse, I'm the same way. I'm like, I have to just be myself. Mm-hmm. If somebody messes up, I have to chirp them. I have to. Like, It's a funny thing to do. I keep the show moving, but if something where someone's sharing something raw or open or honest about their life, I go, thank you for sharing. And so you're not alone. I'll share something similar that happened to me, so you can feel we can all be in this together. And I think that's why the Clubhouse room has been successful, and I think that's why how I've been successful. I just don't have time for bullshit, for lack of a better word.
I love what you said too. There were moments even on Monday where, oh God, what day was it? Monday? No, Wednesday. I don't know the day of the week anymore, but where there was people and okay, you're supporting them, but then there were some serious moments and then you're there for them. I'm like, this guy is everywhere. I feel like this is his acting demo reel right now. I was very impressed, and I'm like, and you're multitasking, and it's hard to moderate a room. Like, I know I've done my fair share of moderating, and I felt like, oh my God, this guy has so much energy he's putting out. It's a lot of people in that room that you're doing like really great work for and connecting some really amazing people. So I very much appreciate what you're doing. And the people, it's not, I know it's a group of you, but I mean, I appreciate your comedy in that room as well. So
Yeah, I just like to keep it light. I like to keep it airy. I like to keep it fun. I like to keep people, again, feeling like they're heard.
yeah,
That's important because a lot of these clubhouse rooms, people go up and they share whatever they're trying to share, or they ask whatever they're kind of asking, and the moderator's like, okay, thanks, moving on. After
it feels so dirty, and you go, well, they were trying to be vulnerable and like ask a question. No, that question's stupid. Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
This was a really important question for someone. Let's make sure they get heard and they feel validated. So yeah, I'm glad that you are aware of that.
Yeah, I just like when people share something, like whatever it is, for every single person. And my memory is also insane. Like I don't know.
Someone commented, you remember every story, lines and beyond.
Yeah.
You do remember and people remember your stories. Everyone's like, oh, are you going to the cottage? I'm like, what is this family on Clubhouse? Hilarious.
Yeah, no, I have a crazy memory, but I also like to, like, when someone says, like, whatever they do, I can't even think of an example, whatever it is. I do this, I do this, I do this. I like to, first of all, repeat back to them what they do to let them know that I was listening. Mm-hmm. And if anyone missed what they said, I'm repeating it back so they get a double hit of who they are and what they do. And also, then I try to relate something to my life. You know, oh, you do this? Well, I don't do that. But one time I was here and I did this. And it just makes everyone feel, again, like that community, that family, that I don't know, brotherhood, sisterhood, whatever. And I think that's why the room's been so successful. You know, we've connected over 75,000 Canadians since I started doing that room. And it was not something I did purposely. It was something that I did out of passion, where I was just like, I'm a Canadian entertainer. I love Canadians. I love connecting Canadians. Because the biggest thing for me that I missed from comedy was meeting people. The shows are always great. The merchandise, the sticker sales, great. The traveling, the seeing the Rockies and the prairies and the Maritimes and Vancouver Island and into the States, all the places I went, fantastic. But my favorite thing always, when I was, no matter what city I was in, was sitting down and having a drink and talking with someone who's a local and finding out everything that they are. Because I'm internalizing that. I'm internalizing their story. I'm internalizing the stories of the people of the community. It gives me a character base to work with when I'm on stage. And also as an actor, I have all this perspective of types of people from different areas of the country. And like you, I do a lot of voiceover work. So now I can do regional dialects, because I sat and had a 2-hour drink with someone from North Tonawanda or from Southside Chicago or from the prairies or from the Rockies. I know what these people sound like. So when I'm doing a voice, I'm in my studio right now. When I'm doing a voiceover audition, or if I booked it, I'm like, oh, I know what this person sounds like because I had a drink with this guy in Saskatoon. So it's beneficial for me, and it's also people, after they meet me, they're more invested in my career. That's why I love doing, it's kind of a show, but meet and greets. It's kind of a show-busy term, but I like to meet and greet people. I love it, because when they have a chance to sit and talk with me and shake my hand and look into my eyes, and I share about my story, they share about theirs, now they're invested in my career for the rest of my life. Now they're following me on Instagram. When I'm coming back to their town, they're telling all of their friends. It's strategic, but it's something that I love to do. So it's a double kind of whammy for that.
Well, it's funny, you say strategic, but you're also genuine in your meet and greet. It's not like, okay, cool, everyone's here, hi, goodbye.
Yeah.
I actually want to get to know you. Let's make a connection. You're getting so many comments, I cannot keep up with them. And guys, I apologize. I'm not ignoring them. They just keep coming. There is so much love for you right now on this IG Live, Eric. It's impressive.
Well, thank you. I'm loved. Am I good? Do you like me? Do you like my shirt?
I don't know. They can't touch it, so they don't know the fabric. It's really missing. And Eric is so genuine. Naomi. Oh,
thanks, Naomi.
I love that you know Naomi. Naomi's lovely.
Yes.
Simply K. Will agrees. And Jen Gardner's laughing. So much happening. The problem is, because there's a delay, I don't know what she's laughing to. So this is what
it doesn't matter. Just
I appreciate a good laugh. Okay.
Yeah. Next question.
Oh, no, that's fair. I know. I wanted to make sure. I was going to skim through the comments. I'm like, guys, there's so many. I apologize. But thank you all for commenting and sending love towards Eric. I feel like Canadians are so invested in each other. And just this, I just love the whole idea of Canadians supporting Canadians, because there was only, for the longest time for me as an actor, I'm trying to find Canadian rooms, and I tried to create like a Toronto hub, whatever. Group, but it's hard. And when I find the Canadians on Clubhouse, there's just something about being Canadian. You want to support each other. At least that's how I felt. So I love the space that you have, and I love the number of people that keep coming back, and this sense of support and community that you built. Even if you can't see their face, it's fascinating.
Yeah, it's funny because I've been meeting up with some of the people in real life, the people who are in Southern Ontario from Clubhouse, and it's like, this was like almost like a social experiment with what Clubhouse was, because we're in the worst times of our lives in terms of the pandemic. A lot of people lost their jobs, hundreds of millions and billions of dollars were lost in opportunities and whatever. But it really comes back to people. It really comes back to connecting with people. As human beings, that's our favorite thing. And as much as people are like, I'm an introvert, this was great for me, I don't care about people, I don't like to go out. It's like, yeah, but you still need human connection, or you would be not a human. And I think Clubhouse, again, I strip away a lot of my bullshit, but I think Clubhouse strips away a lot of the bullshit, because I think they were brilliant in not including video, because video could have got really messy, especially with some of the crazy rooms, and people could have been pulling their penises out or stuff like that. Like, I don't know. You put people on video, like the chat roulette and stuff.
No, that's the first thing you came up with. That's what's going to happen if video was off.
I'm just saying, with chat roulette and things like that, when it's like a random video streaming, people pull their dicks out. I think
you got a lot of hearts for that too. So I think people feel you with that. I guess a lot of people think that's what would happen. I love it.
But I think with just the voices, because, you know, that's why, you know, when you're texting with someone and maybe you're getting in an argument, or there's a little bit of a disagreement or whatever it is, you just want to jump on a call because you want to hear people's tone. You want to hear people's intention. You want to hear people's story and voice. And as voice actors, we know it's all in the voice. So when Clubhouse happens, it's just a picture and a voice. You have to be real, because if you're not, you're either labeled a troll or uninteresting or whatever, and it's just gone. You're just gone. And I made a decision very early on. I'm going to do this, first of all, for the Canadians thing, because it's very Canadian. If you're like, you know, as an actor, when you see a friend of yours in a TV show or a commercial, you're like, I know that guy. Or you see a Canadian in an American TV show, you're like, that guy's from Vancouver. You know, as Canadians, we're very proud of our own, right? And I knew that was instilled in us as Canadians. So I thought every time I was in one of these American Clubhouse rooms, every time I saw a Canadian, I'd get excited. Like, oh my God, I can see the Canadian flag. I click on, oh my God, oh, that guy's from Scarborough. It's so close. I love it. You know, and then I started the room based on that notion. You know, tell me who you are, where you're from, and what you do. And then I added in under two.
It's great. It's so, I'm like, and you just have this whole practice pitch. I'm like, that is genius. You say it so fast. I'm like, yes, that is practice and gold. It's very good.
Well, I've been doing it for 3 to 4 hours twice a week for 5 months. It's like I'm doing a Broadway run. I can't mess up. It's like it's in me. But that was like the big thing that I wanted to lead into. And it wasn't a lean into thing. It was like, I just love Canadians. Where are they all? And it started very modestly and grew and grew and grew and grew. And again, like I said, 75,000 Canadians have come through that room. And I decided early on, I'm a little announcery sometimes, and I'm a little like hosty sometimes. But for the most part, I made the decision that I absolutely just have to be myself. And, you know, other than a couple times when I was making fun of Americans very jokingly, and I got some complaints from Americans being like, this is an American bashing room. I'm like, no, it's not. Fuck off. Like, it was just like other than that, it's been people, that's the number one note I get. And even it's in the comments today. It's just so genuine. It's so funny. It's so real. It's so honest. That's why it's so successful. On top of the amazing people who come in the room. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's helped my career. You know, I didn't do it for the Instagram followers, but I'm up like 2,500 followers on Instagram, which would take me like a year of touring to do, at least a year and a half. Like, I do a show of people who are there to see me. 500 people are there to see me, and I'll still only go up like 10 Instagram followers after the show. Like, I go on Clubhouse for an hour, I go up 50. And I'm like, okay, well, this works. Again, I didn't do it for the Instagram followers. It's just kind of a positive side effect. But there's been people, directors have reached out to me like, I want to work with you.
Cool.
The casting agent from Family Feud Canada found me through Clubhouse.
Yeah, your video, can I just say, your video was hilarious. Was that actually your audition you sent in for Family Feud?
Yeah.
It's not because it's not just you. Like, I got a sense of your personality. I see your footage. But to know that your family is so on and, like, wanting to do it too, I love that so much. I love when family wants to be on camera as well. It was great.
Everyone was really nervous. Like, my mom's a natural. Like, my mom
She's adorable. Oh,
Kathy Johnston is Kathy
Johnston.
Johnston.
Screen at the end.
Yeah.
So funny.
Kathy Johnston is Kathy Johnston no matter what situation she's in, and that actually helps me with my personality traits. But she's looking into the camera, and she's like if you watch Goodfellas and Casino, Martin Scorsese puts his mom into the film, who plays in Joe Pesci's mom in Goodfellas, and the lady who owns the shop in Casino. That's Martin Scorsese's mom, and she's just genuinely this old school Italian lady. My mom is very similar. But my mom's like looking into the camera. She's chirping me. Like, a lot of those lines weren't even planned. She just like went for it. My sister was nervous, but she got one take out. I'm like, you're great. My girlfriend was like shaking. Like, she's holding her thing.
That's so good.
I know, but everyone was, I think when you create this scene where we're like, okay, action, go. And we just didn't let people overthink. It created kind of the best stuff because, you know, when you have the opportunity to overthink, you overthink yourself out of an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And I just came up with that quote on the spot, and I'm keeping it forever. Thank you.
Quote you in this. That was great.
When you have the opportunity to overthink, you overthink yourself out of an opportunity.
Oh.
Eric Johnston, put it in quotes. I just came up with that right now. It's really good. But it's true, you know, when you do that, I don't know if I could do this, and you get the negative self-talk, which I don't have at all. I've never had negative self-talk. I have too much positivity. But other people, when you're negative self-talk, you're like, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to stutter. I'm going to mess up. People are going to hate me, blah, 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 blah. But when you're just like, okay, action, go. People come up with the best stuff. Like my Uncle Steve, a natural. My sister, my girlfriend, my mom, natural. We just filmed it. Boom. Nailed it. And then we got it, and we got pushed right through to the final step. So, yeah.
I love that. Your uncle was so funny, too. He, like, crashed into the leaf or something with his left. It was so funny. I'm like, that was a great choice, Uncle. Just, like, very impressed with non-actors. But it's true what you're saying, though, because I use my husband for so many skits. And he doesn't, like, he is not as invested. So he just gets it in 1-2 takes. And I'm like, I hate you so much. Yeah. Because I overthink. I'm not like you. I don't have your, this is who I am. I'm like, I don't know, will they like me? Please like me. And so I think, again, like if roles are reversed, my husband would, like, his career would be soaring right now. So I need to adapt his mentality of like how to just be myself.
Well, it's funny. As an actor, you know, sometimes you do the best auditions either hungover or tired, or like you sat in traffic to go to, you know, whatever it is, man casting or wherever you're going, Powerhouse, and you sit in traffic for like 2 hours and you get there and you're like, let's just fucking do it. Let's just actually give it to me. What is it? Sometimes those are my best auditions because I don't have the opportunity to overthink, which I don't do a lot of anyways. But it's not that I don't care, but the stakes are very leveled. And you know, as a comedian and as an actor and as a personality, it's all about stakes. What's at stake here? Mm-hmm. And it creates good scenes, it creates good comedy, it creates good, you know, MC work, whatever. Yeah. When you kind of level out the stakes and manage expectations, you can just really just be yourself, which again relates to everything that I do, including Clubhouse, because I'm just like, I'm unapologetically myself. And, you know, early in my career, people didn't kind of get that. And I got a little bit of like, you know, hate because they're like, who is this guy and who does he think he is? And I'm like, actually, I know who I am. You guys just aren't there yet. So you'll come back to me, which is now exactly what has happened. But
is that why your name is at Eric Johnston who?
Yeah. It's like, who is he? You know?
Okay.
And I thought, okay, well, I'll make my Instagram that, first of all. That's funny. And then hopefully someday it becomes ironic, where I'm so known that the who is like, why would he have that? you know, and I'm getting to that point. But it's just, I just love to work. It really comes down to, I just miss work. Like with the pandemic, you know, when it first hit last March, I was in Chicago. I was doing 6 sold out shows at the Laugh Factory in Chicago. And I came
Your
home.
Laugh Factory bit, the bits that you posted, you're very like physical to a point where there were some clips that were so funny. It was like your back. Why do I have back pain? And you're doing all this. And I think there was like a dancing history that you have, and I thought, my God, look at this back bend. I was very invested, but also, did it hurt? Were you actually sore?
After a run, if I do like a week worth of shows at that level of energy, because my energy goes up based on the audience. Like you hear those old, like, remember if you're doing musical theater camp, they're like, the more energy you guys have, the more energy we have. But it's true, you know, if I'm doing a room that has 50 people in it and they're excited, they're going to get a good show. I'm going to be excited myself. But if I'm doing a room that has 450 people in it and they're really excited, my energy, my explosiveness, my physicality goes up. And if I do 7 in a row, by the 7th show, like I'm literally like, I'm walking back to my hotel every night, like, oh God, my back. Because, you know, I've always believed that there's no vanity in comedy. You know, it's funny first. So if I'm not like, I'm a guy, I dress nice and I do my hair and whatever, I try to keep my presentation up. But when I'm on stage, I don't give a shit what I look like. It's comedy first. There's no vanity. So I'm like kicking and dancing. I got like every picture of me on stage. If so, like when there's a photographer in the room, they send me all the, like, hey, I put all these shots of you, and I'm all like I'm just like all over the place. Like every picture is so ugly because I'm committing to the bit. I'm committing to the physicality. I'm committing to the action. So I don't give a shit what I look like. You know, and then on Instagram, I'm like checking my eyebrows and flexing and whatever. But it's just, you have to be, if you're a physical comedian, you're a physical comedian. Be physical. You can't half-ass that. And I've always grew up watching physical comedy and slapstick. And, you know, my heroes are like, you know, Chris Farley and Jim Carrey, John Candy, Mike Myers. These are like big, physical, loud people. So when I started doing comedy, I'm like, this is my style. And a lot of people are like, oh, you're like a Dane Cook. And I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, you're like a Sebastian Maniscalco, who was one of my personal heroes. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, but I've been doing this the entire time. Those guys are just famous, so you're relating them to me. But this is what I've been doing since I started. And before I knew any of these people. So anyways,
So they clearly are following you, but they got more famous first, and they're stealing your bits, and they're not giving you credit. It's rude.
I highly doubt that, but I appreciate that for my own mental health. Thank you very much.
Oh, obviously. But your physical, oh my gosh, there was a commercial you did, and I've never seen anyone more confident in their body. You're in like a Speedo, and I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I am just like watching I've never, how do you just have that body confidence? And like, but I'm saying like just this attitude, this character that you created, just like attitude, and it was so good to watch. All I was staring at was the facial expression. It was so funny. Like the hand choice. It was great. It was so good.
That
and like awkwardly walking, like not even normal. I don't know how you develop a walk. I was very curious about that.
Well, I was very comfortable that day, although I was very cold because we shot that, I don't even know, late June, but it was like a cold snap end of June. And it was dark. They had some problems with setting up the cameras. That commercial was shot at like 9:30 at night, but they had to bring in a massive light truck, and it looks like the middle of the afternoon. It was like almost pitch black when we shot that commercial, which gives you the power of editing.
Good editing.
The commercial was written for me. So that will give you a certain amount of confidence, because I used to do these, I still kind of do, these funny like dancing videos on Instagram, where like I'd be getting ready to do a show, which I was doing anyways. I'd be dancing in my hotel room or wherever I was staying, and I'd be dancing just to get into my body, to get into that physicality, and I have music blasting, whatever. And I caught a glimpse of myself in the mirror, and I'm like, this is hilarious. I should just film these. And I did, and I started filming them and putting out. They would go crazy, and people would share them and like them and comment and all that kind of stuff. And a couple casting directors, this had happened twice in my career so far, saw me on Instagram and saw this kind of big, at the time when I shot that Speedo one, I was like, I don't know, probably 30 pounds heavier than I am now. And, not that I was fat, but I wasn't skinny. But I was like, this is written for me. The character is big and boisterous and like almost European and like, I don't care what I look like, come to me guy. And I was like, let's just go for that. And as a comedian, every time I'm on set, which some directors don't like, I'm always trying to make the crew laugh.
I know.
And the director's always like, okay, good take, but you ruined it because now you're making the crew laugh and we can't use that. But I knew that was SOC, silent on camera. And they were going to add music. So I was like, okay, every time I do something and it gets a giggle out of the crew, I'm going to turn that up to 10. And I'm just going to boom, boom. And it was just like little things, like just movements, like shoulder and whatever. 7 years of competitive dance, of course. But I just committed to it and made the crew laugh. And when the crew's laughing and when the director has to stop because he's laughing so hard, you have something. And that commercial went crazy viral all over the place. And I'm so in character that people have a hard time believing it's me. Until I say, hey, this is me, they're like, oh, that is you. It was so...
It's true. It doesn't seem like your face or your essence, but it's a different... That's why it takes me a little bit to go, is that him? He's tagged in this. It doesn't look like him. Oh, it is him. Okay, I see it now. And it's this like... Not instant, but then eventually you realize it's you. I'm sharing my thought process with the world now.
I'm into it. I'm listening. I need to take a break.
The brain took it in and processed accordingly. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it was that with the Circle K Speedo commercial. But then it happened again with Text Now, which I just did. I played a plumber / dance teacher.
Yes, I saw that one too. I'm like,
yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, so that was also written for me. And, I love auditioning, but it's really great when someone comes to you with an already finished product.
You're living the dream right now. You're living the I booked it without auditioning. That's amazing.
Yeah. It was nice, though, because, again, the director, actually, it's a little bit of a different story. For the Text Now spot, I went in for another spot. Something that I wasn't right for, but I showed up to the audition anyways. Sure enough, I get a call back because I didn't care about it, because I didn't think I was right for the part. Because I didn't care about it, I was so confident that they gave me a call back. In the callback, I meet with the director, as you do on a callback, and I was joking around, and I'm like, hey, I'm in my studio. It's in my mom's basement in Stony Creek. I'm like, this is where I keep the extra paper towels, and also I think my tap shoes are around here somewhere. And the director's like, tap shoes? And I'm like, yeah, I danced competitively growing up. I did 7 years of tap, jazz, ballet, and music theater. And he's like, that's crazy. And I'm like, yeah, I got a bunch of dancing videos on my Instagram. You should check it out. Anyways, let's do this scene and not get this part. So I do it. And sure enough, I don't get the part because I knew I wasn't right for the part that I was auditioning for. But then the director calls my agent and goes, listen, he wasn't right for the part he auditioned for, but I love him. I checked out his Instagram. I saw his dance videos. I also saw his like pretend Italian vibes. I'm going to write a third spot because this was only 2 spots that they were filming. I'm going to write a third spot specifically for him. We're going to film it as a spec. Like literally the crew doesn't even know until you show up, and we're going to film this thing. And we're going to do it as a spec, and we're going to pitch it to the company, and hopefully they take it. If not, we'll pay you for the day, and that'd be fine. And I went, first of all, thank you. Second of all, let's do it. Again, like this, let's do it.
I love it.
And so we film it. It ends up being the company's favorite spot. And they don't even use, they do use the first 2 for online, but they don't use it for broadcast. They take my spot and put it U.S. national. And I get messages like every day from friends of mine who I met in the States as a comedian on tour, be like, just saw you on TV, holy shit. And I'm like, I haven't even seen it on TV yet because it's only U.S. national, it's not Canadian. So, but the point of all of this is to say, it goes back to the first thing I said, being unapologetically yourself. I didn't put the dance videos on my Instagram in the hopes that a year later a director would see them and write a commercial for a cell phone company in the United States. That was not my thought process. My thought process was, this is me, this is funny, let's go for it, let's put it out there. And then the thing you learn is if you're unapologetically yourself, people will see it, they'll respect it, and they'll want to work with it. And they came back and they worked with me on 2 separate occasions with Circle K and Text Now. And now I get opportunities every day for, we want to see this, we want to see you do this. Like they're remaking a classic Canadian sketch TV show right now for Amazon Prime. They reached out to me direct and said, we want to see you for another character. There's the main cast of 5 guys, but we want to see you as a secondary part for sketches. Direct to me. I didn't know. I still had to audition, but I didn't submit. My agent didn't submit. It just came to me. So I'm unapologetic myself, and the biggest thing you need to know is you never know who's watching, and you never know who's looking up to you.
Ooh.
You never know. Like I'm 11 years into comedy. I'm 25 years into acting. I'm doing
and not a day over 20.
I'm doing all these amazing things for my own career, but I don't realize that there's a lot of like comics who are 2, 3, 4 years in looking up to me as kind of the benchmark of what they find successful. But I'm doing that with comics who are 4 or 5 years in front of me. I'm looking up to people. People are looking up to me, and someone who's like a 16-year-old dreaming about trying comedy is looking up to that 3rd or 4th year into it. Everyone's looking up to each other. And that's with men, that's with women, that's with comedians, that's with actresses, that's whoever. Everyone has someone that they look up to. Mm-hmm. And I get messages often from people young in the game being like, your hustle is amazing. Like all the veteran comics call me Johnny Hustle. And which is a funny nickname. I guess they got the Johnny from Johnston and the Hustle from Hustle. And like all the old like Toronto cats, they call me Johnny Hustle. And that means a lot to me because they're seeing how hard I'm working. And that's all I've ever wanted. I don't want, in my life, if I ever make it, if I ever become let me rephrase that. When I make it, when I become a big star, I don't want anyone to ever say, well, he didn't deserve that. He got lucky. Mm-hmm. I want people to say, I've watched that guy bust his ass for 15 years. Every day. I watched him. That's why I'm so vocal on social media. Mm-hmm. That's why I'm so vocal on everything that I do about who I am and what I'm doing. Because I want people to say, that guy worked his ass off. And he deserves everything that he gets. You know, there's comics who make it big on YouTube or TikTok or whatever. They get the millions of dollars and their lives are inherently unfulfilling because they didn't work for that. They got lucky. And good luck. I'm proud of them. Good for you. You made a viral TikTok and now you live in a mansion in Beverly Hills. Congratulations. But I'll never have people say, Eric lives in a mansion in Beverly Hills, but he didn't deserve that. He got lucky. Mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of how I look at it. Show up every day. Because I grew up in Hamilton, and I watched these guys go into Stelco and DeFasco and American Steel and whatever and have to put in 12 hours at a plant. Mm-hmm. And they hate it, and they come home covered in dirt, and all they want to do is eat and sleep. I grew up with these guys. I grew up with them as my uncles, my godfather. I grew up with them as my friends, my buddies' dads, now my buddies. And I thought to myself, if these guys are going to work that hard at something that they don't like and wasn't their dream, I'm going to work twice as hard as something that is my dream. Mm-hmm. And that's just where the Johnny Hustle comes in, I guess.
No, but it's so encouraging, and I feel like anyone watching this right now is just going to feel so motivated. But not even that, like just want to support you because your passion is so like contagious. And I feel weird using the word contagious with COVID, but there's something to it, right? Like it's so. I feel like I just want to create now. Like, oh my God, okay, Eric's hustling. I got to hustle more. Like this is what's happening. This is how we should do it. But it's
and I'll help people. That's another common misunderstanding about Eric Johnston is people think that because I'm so motivated for myself that I don't want to help anybody else. Where I'm the opposite. I am the let's work together to get out of this bucket. You can reach out to me about anything, and I'm saying you and you as a viewing audience and anyone who hears
guys, I will attest to that. This was a last second live that Eric just jumped onto. If no one has heard my speech in the beginning. So yeah, you just do anything, and you're just there to support people. And I thought, cool, yeah. I like this guy already.
Yeah, just like if anyone has anything, whether it's acting or MC work or stand up or how to treat the entertainment business like a business. If anyone has any questions, just message me. I'm not afraid to help anybody. I encourage people to reach out because I like to help people.
Mm-hmm.
And I have nothing else to say other than if you have any questions, reach out to me. Follow me on Instagram, Eric Johnston Who, and I'll do anything to help anybody. I'll bring any comic along with me who I think deserves it. And I think deserving it is watching other comics work. Mm-hmm. If I see a comic like showing up every week to the open mic with new material, new perspective, a new outfit, they dress good, their presentation, this works for both men and women. If I see that and they go, hey, Eric, I saw you're performing at Sudbury. I'd love the opportunity to open for you. I go, sure. Come on. Get in the car. I'll do that.
Get in my van. Get in the trunk.
Yeah, get in the back of the van. Get in. Let's go. But if I see a comic never showing up, shooting the shit in the back of the green room, negative, talking down about other comics, same material every week, wearing an oversized t-shirt and a sweater with a stain on it, and they go, hey, I saw you're working at Sudbury, can I come up and open? I go, I'll let you know. Yeah, I actually think it's booked. Sorry, pal. And that's just, I reward good behavior. And good behavior is respect for the industry. If you don't respect what you do, I will not respect you. Mm-hmm. And I've helped a lot of comics. I've brought a lot of comics with me. I enjoy that. I love being on the road with other comedians. I love the stories of like driving to a place in a snowstorm together. Like Michael Moses and Jason Allen are my two best friends in comedy. The three of us have been everywhere together. And they're the opening acts on my Campfire Comedy Tour this summer. But they've been my opening acts for years. And they're going to get to a point where it's going to be insulting for me to say, hey, can you come open? Because they're both so good.
Right.
Like both Moses and both Jason, if I was going up on stage and I don't know, tripped and fell and broke my wrist and I couldn't go on stage, ooh, I'm confident that both Jason or Moses could go up and headline.
Why
you have to have that?
Like you're just like, obviously I'm going to trip and break my wrist. Like that was such a visual that you just have all these visuals prepared. Like worst case scenario.
Worst case scenario.
Okay. Has this happened?
No, but I'm saying it could. It could if I slipped and fell and got knocked out or something. And they're like, because in show business, the show must go on. Someone's got to go up and do the time. People bought tickets. Everyone's a paying customer.
You wouldn't go up with a broken wrist. Is that commitment, Eric?
I would. I'm a psychopath. You could literally do anything except for cut my head off, and I'd probably go on stage.
Part of the act.
Yeah. But anyways, my point is, if something catastrophic happened and I couldn't go on stage, I'm confident that Moses or Jason Allen could go and kill it and do the hour. You have to have that in your opening acts. You have to. There's a lot of comics who bring terrible comedians with them on the road because it makes them look better. It makes them saying, hey, my opener went up and bombed, but I'm the star. Here I go. It's a very negative way to think. I want my openers to bury me. And bury me in terms of I want them to be so good off the top that the audience is in such a good place that now the expectations are heightened and I have to match them. Like I look forward to when Jason Allen goes up in that middle spot and he's got this like tight 15, sometimes I'm like, he's burying me. I'm going to have to dig out of this for the first part of my act because he's so good, and Moses as well, that I have to, when I come up on stage, it has to be like me fired out of a cannon to keep that energy going. And I have to be full energy, full capacity for an hour. I come off stage soaking wet. I'm not even a real sweater, but after an hour of that, I'm sweating pretty heavily. And I look at the guys and I go, thanks, that was a good show. Let's go drink, let's go eat, let's go to the hotel, let's go whatever, and that's what gives me the most joy in my life is that moment of when they go, please welcome Eric Johnston, and that 10-15 second window it takes for me to come off stage until I grab the microphone. It's the most absolute truth I have in my life. That's my vacation. That 15-second window from when they call me to when I take the microphone out of the stand, I can be nothing but myself. I can be nothing but my story. I can be nothing but my work that got me here. Take the mic out of the stand, and here we go. And that, I look forward to that 15 seconds every day.
I got chills. That was so beautiful. Oh my gosh. But you know, the fact that you surround yourself with people that make you better is such a smart choice. And like the fact, but that's so important, right? Don't surround yourself because you want to be better than other people. Just, it helps you grow as a performer too. And it keeps challenging you to be better. And I love that mentality that you have. Yeah.
I can only suggest these things to so many comics and then have them not listen to me and then have them fail. I just go, okay, well, I tried. Because I want people to come up with me, you know, and I think the pandemic, it kind of really, for lack of a better phrase, and this is not a very inclusive phrase, but it really separated the men from the boys in terms of who was really into this comedy game, who was really into this entertainment game, who was really into this acting game, or who was just kind of doing it to fill time. Right. And you realize that when you take that opportunity away from them for 16 months, who comes back with a vengeance and who comes back stronger than ever. Mm-hmm. And I feel, and this is not to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, which I love to do, I never stopped through this pandemic. I built a comedy club in my basement to do Zoom comedy. I was doing backyard tours last summer. I'm doing like 15, 16 of them this summer. Yeah. When the reduced capacity comedy clubs opened in Kingston and Ottawa and Toronto for 50 people a night, I did 27 shows in 30 days because I was like, we're back, let's work. The acting stuff, the commercial work, I just couldn't stop working. I'm like a shark. I have to keep swimming. And I think a lot of comics or entertainers or actors use this opportunity, as the pandemic, as an opportunity to quit because they had an out. They didn't fail. The world failed them. So they had an opportunity to go, bye-bye. And I go, take care. You know, you really opened up the highway for us here to keep going. And that can be positive or negative. It's negative for the people who quit, but it's positive for the people who are going to jump through and continue to go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I talk a lot on these things, by the way. I like. No, and I love it. I'm just like, it's every time I think you're a hustler and then you share more of what you're doing, I'm like, I am exhausted hearing this. And I think I'm like, Robyn, why didn't you build a comedy club in your little apartment in Toronto? What is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I can make this into a comedy club. It's a blue screen. What am I? You give me ideas. Again, I'm like, no, I'm fake panicking, but I like the ideas. But can I ask, I couldn't find this, or I don't know this, and it might be ignorant. So you started off as a dancer and then you thought you were funny? Or like, what is, I'm just curious. That is a great way to ask that question. So I'll give you the synopsis. Usually people ask this question at the start of the
No, interview. That's not how I roll.
I'm glad that you're doing this towards the end here because, you know, it just sets it up for standard questions. And you haven't asked me any standard questions, but this is a great question. So, backstory on me. My father was a professional wrestler. And my grandfather was a professional wrestler. If you follow me on Instagram, you can see that that's very prevalent. As a kid, I wanted to be like my father. I wanted to get on stage and perform. My dad was going into the wrestling ring and entertaining hundreds of people to thousands of people at a time. How do I be like that? Okay, I can't become a wrestler. Cool. There wasn't any, other than Theatre Aquarius, there wasn't really any theater programs here in Stony Creek.
Sorry. I was in Hamilton for a bit, so that made me smile. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, Theatre Aquarius is great. What can I do? And what I did was, there's a dance studio down the street here called Rhythm Plus Dance Company. They had a stage. They had a place to perform. I was 6, and I went, this is where I'm going to spend all my time. So I started doing, you know, tap, jazz, ballet, music theater. I did it for 7 years competitively, toured all the dance competitions in Southwestern Ontario and upstate New York. I got to perform at the biggest performing arts centers in Southern Ontario. Hamilton Place, the Sanderson Center, the River Run Center, all these massive, beautiful theaters I got to perform in every weekend. Oh. When I got to high school, my Cardinal Newman High School, which is around the other corner here, they had a theater program where they did 4 plays a year. And I was like, this is the best. So I quit dance, for lack of a better word, and focused into theater and musical theater. I did something ridiculous, like 16 plays over 4 years. Like full production plays, like not like children's theater, like with lighting and backdrops and props and sound. After that,
I know it's ridiculous, but I also just love that idea so much. Like putting on a play at that pace makes me so happy.
Yeah, it was like there's 4, put this way, there's 4 semesters or 4 terms in a school year. There was a full production every semester for 4 years of high school. So anyways, I do that for 4 years. I graduate from high school and I'm like, well, I got to do something. I want to go to school, and I love theater. Maybe I'll go to theater school. So I auditioned for the Humber College Theatre Performance program, which is notoriously a very hard program to get into. You know, I auditioned something like 450 and they take 45 a year. I get into that. About 6 months into a 3-year program, I realized I don't like this. Like, I didn't like the pretension. I didn't like the forced engagement. I didn't like the, again, for lack of a better word, bullshit. You know, I remember there was a class we had called spinning, where we'd literally spin around in a circle. This was a class at Humber College. There was another one where we had to lay on the ground for 45
minutes. Wait, so, okay, an hour, you just spin in a circle? Like vertigo inducing? Okay, what?
I don't know why we did this. I don't know the purpose of it. It was taught by this like crazy Russian lady, and the class was called spinning. And
maybe she meant to do like a spin class, but they didn't have the budget for the bikes.
That's very funny.
Okay.
No, we would literally, with our hands out, spinning around in a circle for like 45 minutes, and there was this technique of as you were slowing down, you would pull in the opposite direction that you were spinning, and it's supposed to equilateral your equilibrium out, and then you would not be dizzy. This was like an ancient art from Russia that was for some reason taught to us at Humber College. And I'm not bashing the college. I think it's a great program.
No, I don't think that. I'm sure the program's great. That course concerns me.
Insane.
Okay.
It was insane.
Yeah.
And again, because I'm incapable of lying, I'm incapable of not speaking my truth, they would all these like hippie, pretentious theater students would be like, my spin today was great. I felt like the color orange, and I felt my chakras align. And I would sit there and be like, you're fucking lying. You're lying. So anyways, I don't know if I could swear on these things, but I did.
No, that's fair. I'm actually, oh my God. I'm going to spin for 45 minutes and see what happens after this.
See what happens. You'll quit.
I'd be like, Eric, I passed out after 10 minutes. That's what happened. Okay.
So I drop out. My mom is devastating. This is my solution. This is what a 18-year-old I was. I drop out. I don't tell my mom. Instead, I take an all-inclusive trip to Dominican Republic and pay for it with my student line of credit. This is what an idiot I am. I think, okay, things are hot right now. I'm dropping out of college. My mom doesn't know. I'm dipping to Dominican. When I come back, everything will be blown over. When the school called my mom when I was in the Dominican Republic, like, hey, he's not here because he dropped out, whatever, he's not getting a refund. I came home, it was the most upset my mom has ever been with me in my entire life. She was devastated. And I just went, I hated it. I couldn't go another day. I couldn't show up there and lie another day. And anyway, so I drop out of there. My mom's devastated. I moved back to Toronto. I moved to Queen and Dovercourt, and I'm like a working background SOC actor. I'm getting like bit parts in Degrassi and The Border, and a couple music videos, a couple movies, a couple things that show like it's made for TV movies. I was the king of SOC. I was cast. I was a member of the cast. Never said anything.
Such a weird, claim to fame. No one wanted to hear you talk.
They're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah. As long as he doesn't open his mouth, we can book him. There you go.
So I'm that, but I was like, I need to get some sort of education because my mom is a type of lady that if you don't have at least something, that you're a failure. So I auditioned, but I'm like, I still want to be in the entertainment industry, but I want to be on the film and television side. So I auditioned for the Vancouver Film School, which is an even harder program to get into. They audition like 5,000 people a semester, and they take 30.
Oh.
I get into that. So obviously I'm good at auditioning, apparently. so I go out to Vancouver, and the Vancouver Film School I cannot speak more highly about. It was a life-changing experience. If you're on the call right now and you're a young actor or know a young actor, I would highly recommend the Acting for Film and Television program at the Vancouver Film School. It was a 12-month intensive every day, like 9 to 5 plus rehearsals and shoots. You were in class as a team, working, stripping away all of the stuff that gets in your way as an actor, ego, negative self-talk, just stripping all that away. I think part of going to the Vancouver Film School has kind of made me who I am today in terms of like stripping away all this stuff and just being a human being.
This segment is sponsored by Vancouver Film School.
I know, I was going to say they should hire me to do ads because I really crush these ads for them. While I was there at the Vancouver Film School, one night after class, Michael Moses, who's now my touring opening act, he was in the same program as me and said, hey man, we're going to go check out this open mic comedy night. You should come. And I went, I love stand-up. I grew up watching stand-up. Comedy Club 54, Just for Laughs, all the old like Dean Martin, Celebrity Roast. I always loved stand-up, but I never knew how to get close to it. It was always just out of my grasp. And he's like, let's go to this open mic. We go, I sit down, I watch maybe 30 seconds of the show, and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I just knew. It was like, for lack of a better phrase, it was an aha moment where I was like, this is it. I literally, the show was over. I walked up to the guy running the show and said, hey, my name's Eric Johnston. I'm a stand-up comedian from Toronto. I just moved here, which was a lie. I had never done stand-up before in my life, but it just came out of my mouth. It was like divine intervention. Something told me to tell this guy I already did stand-up. And he goes, who do you know? Who do you work with? I knew some guys from Toronto from being an actor who were also stand-ups. I went work with this guy, cool. He said, come back next week. You sound like you're pretty confident. I'll give you 7 minutes. So I had 1 week to 7 days to create 7 minutes of stand-up comedy. And I did it. The jokes were not very good, but I was confident because I had been on stage since I was 6 years old. The idea of going up there didn't scare me. I just went up and just told a bunch of kind of half-written jokes. But because it was an open mic,
It's so funny.
Because it was an open mic, the promoter assumed that, yeah, he's confident. Obviously, he's a comedian. He was just trying a bunch of new stuff tonight.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
He didn't realize it was my first stuff ever. And I came off stage, said, great work. He goes, you have to work on a couple of those things in the middle. I went, yeah, I know, they're new. And he goes, come back next week, come back next week, come back next week, come back next week. That was November 1st, 2010. By the first week of December, I was doing 3 nights a week at the top comedy clubs in Vancouver, like the Comedy Mix, the Yuck Yucks, the Comedy in Kitsilano. I was doing 3 nights a week on top of going to school all day. And I literally, other than COVID, have not stopped since. Since that first show ever, I've never stopped. I've since gone on toured Canada back and forth 3 times. Sold out shows at the Laugh Factory, opened for Russell Peters at the Comedy Store in Los Angeles. I opened for Sebastian Maniscalco, who's a big hero of mine. Shows in Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Nashville, South Florida, Los Angeles, all across Canada. 10 years. I've never stopped. Even in COVID, I didn't stop. I did the online shows and I did the reduced capacity shows. Stand-up comedy will stop for me when I'm dead. That's it. Everything else can have its ebbs and flows, and I haven't auditioned a lot lately, or I haven't emceed an event, or I'm kind of stepping back from Clubhouse. Whatever that is, those are all kind of secondary, auxiliary things. I am a stand-up comedian, and that's what I do, and that's what I'm gonna do until I don't have the ability to speak. But even if I don't have the ability to speak, I'll become a sign language comic. I cannot stop.
I was picturing, this was so dark because you said you do it until you die, and I'm picturing your funeral, like it got really morbid, and like your coffin is in a stand-up position, and then you have all these comics next to you, like, right? Like, hey guys, this is one of his top jokes. I don't know, that got weird in my head. But
well, it's funny when a lot of comedians die, it's usually hilarious because all of their best friends do time. They do time at the funeral, not like jokes. They tell stories about the person. And most comedians' funerals are hilarious. You know, like when Gary Shandling died, there's clips of it. It's like everyone goes up and does time and tells a story about Gary. Kills. I had a friend in Toronto named Sandra Caruzzi. She was a host of a TV show called Inside Jokes. She passed away of breast cancer, terribly. But her funeral was the most beautiful / hilarious thing I've ever been to in my entire life, because she was a comedian. She was friends with all comedians. All of her Italian friends and family are there and crying and very morbid. But then, like, Frank Spadone and went up and told stories about Sandra for like 10 minutes. Killed. Other comics went up, killed. Like, literally killing at a funeral is a great accomplishment. So that's what it is. You have to laugh at life or it'll kill you, you know? And some sooner than others, some later than others, but as long as you're laughing, you're fine.
That's true. Your confidence to just go up, like how your career started, is amazing. Just that confidence of, yeah, it was the new jokes. Yeah, I'm testing out material, of course. I'm a stand-up. Like, just selling yourself and having that confidence. I just hope anyone watching this that is, like, debating on the cusp of should I or shouldn't I, just has the or at least a partial amount of your confidence to try and pursue something that they're passionate about. Because
please,
it's great.
Please do. I'll leave you with a quote. God, or the universe, or Buddha, or Allah, whatever you believe in. Let's choose universe to be universal. The universe will put the best things in life on the other side of fear. The best things in life are always on the other side of fear. So if you're afraid to do something, if you're afraid to go up and go on stage, or if you're afraid to go write your first novel, or if you're afraid to, even go on a roller coaster, whatever it is, whatever you're afraid of, I promise you that if you go for it, the best things in life are on the other side of that fear. You write that book and it becomes an Amazon bestseller. You go up on stage for the first time and you kill and you start a career in stand-up comedy. Roller coasters, although are notoriously scary, once you kind of get to that first drop, what's the first thing you want to do? I want to go again.
Yeah.
I want to get back in line and I want to go again. Now that I know that I'm not going to die in this experience, it's just going to feel like I am for a hot sec. I want to go again. And I encourage anyone to have that feeling where they go for it so much so that they want to go again. Because I go again every night. That sounds very sexual. I go again every night.
Yeah.
On stage, I have the opportunity to go again. I have that opportunity for that 15 seconds from when they call my name to when I take the mic out of the stand. I get that every single night when I'm on tour. So please go for it.
Love that. I also love that Trev took I don't know if you know Trev, MCP, but he said, I was afraid to watch this IG live, but it's the best.
Well, afraid? What did I do?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No,
that's exited the show.
Oh, I mean, it's an intimidating presence, Eric. Eric, I am so grateful for your time and for you just jumping into this and for inspiring so many people. I'm going to share this anywhere that I can think of because I think people should hear everything that you're doing and how hard you're hustling and support you. So thank you so much for doing this. It was so lovely to have a conversation face to face.
This is it, face to face, virtually.
Virtual face-to-face, there you go. And yes, you have another, I think you've just built, keep doing what you're doing community-wise, Clubhouse or otherwise, because you're doing such amazing stuff. And I'm one of the many people that are so grateful for what you're doing. So thank you, Eric.
Thank you. Everyone who's can hear my voice right now, please follow me. I'll keep pumping out the funny.
Follow Eric everywhere. There you go.
Thank you. I'm going to run because I got to pee.
No, that's fair. Thank you so much for your time. Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good one.